You go, Tough.
10,
Huff,
9.
we're good.
Oh, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I just saw him say the countdown. I just saw him say the countdown thing. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to our conference championship weekend college basketball stream Saturday morning. We have a bunch of games today, good 8 games that we're going to get into, 4 conference championship games in the Big 12, Big East, ACC, and Pac-12. And then the Big 12 and the SEC, or the Big 10 and the SEC are wrapping up their semifinals today as well. Just me and Mackie today. Jesse's on behind the glass over there on an airplane. I don't really know where he's at, but somehow figuring out how to run the stream. So we appreciate that. But we're going to get started here with the first Big Ten semifinal game we're going to get into. This line's dropped a little bit. Wisconsin not heading to. I'm just used to saying that. Wisconsin versus Purdue. Purdue a 5.5-point favorite, minus 230 on the money line, over under 142. I did lean Wisconsin plus the 6.5, and I wish I got it at 6.5. I don't know. Purdue just showed yesterday in that second half that they're vulnerable to anyone, and Wisconsin's one of the hottest teams right now. They're finally shooting the 3-ball. Hepburn's playing really good. That team's kind of clicking at the right time, as they usually do, but they're fighting. They're projected to be like a 5, 6, or a 6, 7 seed. They win this Big Ten tournament. That obviously is going to help them out in the selection Sunday process tomorrow. But I don't know. I kind of like Wisconsin here with the points, and the line's dropping, so it's telling me just get it while I can. But I wanted 6.5.
Yeah, Wisconsin's a team that we were high on a lot earlier in the season, and for good reason. This team's pretty stacked up top to bottom, but they hit a bit of a stride there where they couldn't really put wins together. But they're completely back. Starting the start of this tournament, that's 2 big wins now. A huge win over Northwestern yesterday, 9-point win. All these guys are stepping up. AJ Storr 30-piece last night. Obviously, used to Chucky Hepburn. We know what he can do. They just have these role players that are stepping up big time. I think that they can cover the spread here. We saw Purdue. We saw their weaknesses yesterday. You let a pretty weak Michigan State team hang around. They obviously got the win there, but couldn't cover the 8 points. You just let these teams hang around. I think if you let this Wisconsin team hang around, you're gonna have a tough time putting them away.
They could
I like the 5.
they could win the game if it's close late.
That's what I was just about to say that. I like the 5.5, but the real value is on Wisconsin money line here.
I like that. What did I say it was at? Plus 188 on FanDuel. I'm sure you could probably find close to plus 200 there.
Yeah,
But
for sure. But they're playing
I
for.
think we both lean on the Badgers for sure.
Both these teams obviously have a clinch to March Madness, so they're not playing for their seasons here. But I mean, they want that They want that Big Ten championship for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other Big Ten semifinal game, Nebraska versus Illinois. Illinois 4.5-point favorite. 210 on the money line, over under 153. Illinois fucked us yesterday when they went by 3. We had a -4.
4.5, but yeah.
4.5, but yeah, that's a tough look. But I checked the final score and I was like, damn, I knew it was going to be close too. But
we had the opportunity.
This one,
It didn't.
Nebraska coming into this one, they're another one. They're kind of like Wisconsin. They caught fire at the right time. That's a team that kind of cooled off a little bit. Tommy Naga had a crazy game yesterday. I sent you all those highlights. They were going crazy for him. I don't love Illinois with the 4.5 here. I think this will be a close game. I do lean on Nebraska as well, plus the points. Just give me the hot team. I know Illinois is playing good basketball. What's his name? Terrence Shannon is his last name?
Yeah, Terrence Shannon
for Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's unreal for Illinois. I do like him. I don't know. I can't get behind this Illinois team. Every time I take them, I feel like they screw me over by a point or two. I'm going to lean on the Huskers today, plus the 4.5. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but I do like that play.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, Tominaga is going off right now. Biggest name in college basketball right now, especially after last night. But I just can't trust this Illinois team. Like you said, yesterday we had them. Yesterday I was never confident in that game. They were down 8 halfway through the second half. They couldn't put together the runs. They couldn't put together the stops, the back-to-back stops. So the 3-point win was good enough, but Ohio State isn't that good. They should get that win anyway. Players like Domask, terrible game, man. Like he's a straight shooter, not hitting his shots. I mean, when Illinois is not getting the support from these players, Coleman Hawkins had a good game yesterday, but you expect him and Shannon to always have a good game. Team runs through them.
Yeah.
But players like Domask,
Shannon had
you're not hitting shots.
Points, yeah.
You're not going to be covering these spreads. This Illinois team isn't good enough around them. And I like this Nebraska team. I think they have a lot of confidence right now. When Tominaga is playing like this, if you're just knocking down threes like that, when you can get 3 points on possessions that are empty possessions that he's just heaping up threes, It's hard to just run away with it from a team like that. So I'm gonna go Nebraska plus the 4.5. I think that they actually win this game outright. I'm not huge on Illinois. I think if Nebraska can get going, if Tominaga can get going, this team has a great chance of winning this game.
I agree. I think that's a good teaser opportunity. Wisconsin and Nebraska both get them plus
Tease
10
them
or
up.
so to 11. I don't even know what it would get to, but like I said, I do think they could both win the game as well. So I think those are two pretty juicy money lines. But we'll jump over into the SEC where we have our other semifinal games at 1 o'clock. Mississippi State, a 7.5-point underdog versus Auburn. Auburn minus 335 on the money line. Mississippi State plus 265. Which way do you lean on this one?
Yeah, I love this Auburn team, but I don't know, man. This Mississippi State team is scary. 10-point underdogs yesterday against Tennessee and
That's
absolutely
exactly how I feel about this game.
handle business. They have the name, just the thing. Mississippi State, they have Tolu Smith down low, and that Hoggard guy, I think Hoggard or Hubbard, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I know who you're
Up
talking
at the
about.
point. Mississippi State, they're good. They play really well. They complement each other really well. And when they go on runs, it's really hard to stop. But then again, like we've seen this Auburn team so much and how experienced they are. They got a few fifth years. That guy Johnston's been there forever. He runs the point. He can do whatever he wants. So this Auburn team's really scary. I think Auburn gets the job done. The 7.5 does scare me, but Auburn, I mean, they're a national title favorite this year. This team is definitely going to be scary and one to reckon with in March Madness. So I think they get the job done here. I think they can take an SEC title as well tomorrow. But what do you think here?
Yeah, I lean the same way. The 7.5 does kind of scare me. I was looking at the first half. I think it's -4. You can get. I do like that. I might play that one. I didn't look into that too much, but obviously yesterday Mississippi State comes out, like you said, a 9-10 point underdog. They started what they were through the gates. I mean, they were up in the first half. I think it was by 8.
Who, Mississippi State?
Like they smoked it. Yeah, they smoked them in the first
It was a
half.
19-point game at half or 18-point game at half.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
was
that's what I meant.
it was never really even a game.
So it's like for me to take Auburn here. Auburn has obviously a way better defense in this spot. I think they start better. I don't know. I lean on Auburn. I agree. I think they get the job done. I might play that first half -4. That's usually my go-to with these kinds of teams. But Mississippi State is hot. It's going to be a tough one to bet against.
I mean, Auburn also beat
That's a good 1 o'clock matchup.
Auburn also beat a number 15th ranked South Carolina yesterday by 30. So I mean, we can't overlook
Yeah,
that.
they
Either.
smoked them. That was never a game either.
Beat them by 40 earlier in the season and 30 yesterday. So,
yeah,
geez, I mean, this Auburn team's good.
Yeah, and then the other side of the ACC bracket, Texas A&M plus 2.5 versus Florida. Florida minus 156 on the money line. Texas A&M plus 130, over under 150.5. This Florida team's another one like Nebraska, Wisconsin. They're kind of catching fire at the right time. Same with the A&M Aggies, but I know you took A&M yesterday. That was a great hit, winning outright over Kentucky. I liked Kentucky in that spot, but I didn't end up doing anything. I'm glad I obviously didn't, but Florida, I kind of lean on Florida in this spot, and I don't know why. It's like kind of similar to that Auburn opinion. I love Florida here. I think A&M's a hot team. It's going to be scary to go against them, but give me Florida minus the 2.5.
Yeah, this is the first game we're going to be on opposite sides here, Huff. You know how I feel about Texas A&M after yesterday. They did punch a ticket yesterday. It'd be very hard to believe if they didn't. But this team will be dancing in March 99% of the time. But I'm gonna go with them to get the win again. I like this Texas A&M team. I don't love Florida. I've expressed it a lot this year. I took Georgia against them 2 days ago. Florida ended up eking it out. But yesterday, I don't see that. Here's this: the games against Kentucky. I don't like. It's hard to gauge them because they give up 100 points a game. Yesterday, Florida scored. What they score? 102 points or something like that. Florida's not a team that puts up 102 points. But it's just like when you're playing Kentucky style basketball, Kentucky doesn't play defense. So if you're able to put up points like that, I have a tough time betting on Florida when they're not playing on their home floor, neutral site, away site. I have a hard time betting on them. I think they're a completely different team when they're not playing on their home floor. I'm going to go Texas A&M to get the win here. I think they're more well-rounded. This team can really make some noise in March or in that bracket. I'm going to go Texas A&M here. I think that they just keep this energy going. They're on a 5-game winning streak. This team's good.
They're rolling.
Built all around. I think that they get the win here and play for an SEC championship tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll jump over to our championship games. First conference championship game we're going to get into on the Big 12. Iowa State versus Houston. Houston a 5.5 favorite, minus 235 on the money line. Iowa State plus 130 or plus 190. Sorry. Which way are you going on this one? I kind of lean on the Cougars. I'm big on Iowa State. I just don't. It's like my WVU fandom. I never liked them as a school, but I know they have a good team. I was watching them last night against Baylor. I lean on the Houston Cougars here, but I was curious to get your opinion on this one.
Dude, I'm so high on Iowa State, and how can you bet against Houston? How can you bet against this Houston team who's been probably the most
The end of
dominant
that
team?
first half, the end of that first half spread I took yesterday, I could give you about 5 reasons why, dude. They let who were they playing yesterday? I'm blanking.
Texas Tech.
They let Texas Tech literally go on like a 19-7 run and just
Like,
ruined my first half.
the only reason you have these feelings because you had minus 5.5. And guess what happened in the second half? They went on a 12-0 run to start the half, and they won by 30. This team does what they want. Their defense is probably the best in the entire country. They had the scoring to negate.
Cryer's unreal. I like him.
Yeah, LJ Cryer, absolutely ridiculous. That guy Sheed, ridiculous. This team is stacked. The defense is incredible. I think Iowa State's going to have a tough time putting up points today. And Ohio State's the top 7 team in the country, which is it's hard to say they're not going to put up points, but holy shit, this Houston team, I mean, they're so good. I mean, the only way that Iowa State wins this game is if Houston doesn't play Houston basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go Houston. To get the win, the 5.5 is sketchy, but I'm going to take the 5.5 as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you were on the same side. I think I'm probably going to play that one. I was looking at it all morning, and I'm like, I just don't know if I'm biased against Iowa State or if I just like Houston here. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Houston Cougars there, minus the 5.5 as well. You might be able to even get minus 5. But Big East tournament championship, Marquette, UConn. UConn 9.5 point favorite, minus 480 on the money line. Marquette plus 360. You think UConn just stomps them here in the Big East?
Yeah, I mean, I'm misreading Marquette without Tyler Kolek. Yesterday, I misread him
They're a
with
different team.
Providence. They are a different team, but they're finding ways to do whatever they want to do, even without their best player. So
Yeah.
it's kind of scary. This Marquette team's really good, but UConn, along with Houston, most well-rounded team out there, 0 weaknesses. You got to assume UConn gets the win here, probably pretty easy. I'm going to go UConn minus 9.5 here. Not my favorite play, not going to see it on card. Too high of a spread for the top 2 teams in the conference. But, I mean, UConn is just so good.
I wish I was fucking pissed at myself I didn't take St. John's plus 9.5 yesterday. I'm gonna
You would have been
Marquette
sweating
here
until the
plus
end,
the
though.
9. Oh yeah, I know, but
You
I was
sat at
looking at
8
it
for the
all day.
longest time.
I know, yeah. And then there was a lot of points where you were like, "Oh, this is a lot more than you were like, oh, this is gonna win." They had a
Yeah.
crazy second half to make it a game, but I don't know. I just for sake of conversation, I don't think I'll play it either. Scary, but I did kind of lean on Marquette here. They're the hot team, like you said. They don't have their star player. I think they're able to keep it close within a 10-point game.
And UConn is 2-0 against them this year. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, especially a team as good as Marquette.
Yeah, yeah. All right. What's next? ACC championship. NC State versus UNC. UNC 8.5 point favorite, minus 450 on the money line. This line is dropping us on 9.5 this morning when I looked. Plus 340 on the money line for NC State and the over under at 145.5. I did have NC State money line last night to get over Virginia. Crazy buzzer beater to tie that game, win the game in overtime. I love that. I forget his name, but that dude that looks like he should be playing football for NC State.
The guy looks like Zach Randolph.
Dude, I love him.
What's his
He's
name?
so
Hold
fun to
up.
watch. He just throws
DJ
himself into
Burns.
people, dude.
DJ Burns.
Yeah, Burns. That's it.
Yeah, he said
I
something.
like
He
him a
was
lot.
like, what did he say? He was like, I mimic my game after someone. Hakeem. He was like, I mimic my game after Hakeem, but I was just built like Zach Randolph. I was like,
Zach Randolph, dude, that is who he looks like. I
yeah,
was trying to
yeah.
think who he looks like. I was like, that's exactly who he looks like.
Yeah, guy's a
But
dog, though.
what do you think here? In-state rivalry. I know it's in DC, neutral site, but
you
do
see,
you
we
think
know
NC State can keep this close?
we know from playing hockey in the ACC, this is a rivalry. This is a pretty big rivalry
Yeah.
between these teams, no matter how good each one is. I like NC State to keep it close. I think that they're a good enough team. They're playing for a lot here. Obviously, they need an ACC championship to make the tournament. And when you get this far, you're playing your rival here. You're going to keep it close. These teams obviously have already met this season. They played in North Carolina. North Carolina won by 9, so now they get a neutral site, and then they played at home. and NC State lost by 13. So now you got to beat a team 3 times in one season for an ACC title. I'm going to go NC State plus the points here. I think they keep it close. You're on a neutral site. We saw North Carolina with a slow start yesterday, a team like Pitt hanging around. Obviously, guys like R.J. Davis and Rondo Baycott took over at the end of that game. Pitt just couldn't hang around. But I think NC State can keep it close. I think they can get an early lead, just hold on for a little while. I like their coach. I forget his name, but he's been there for a while. He gets the job done over there. Give me NC State plus 9.5. Not going to be bold and take the money line, but I like them to cover.
Yeah, I agree. And then, all right, the Pac-12 championship, these Colorado Buffaloes, we took them last night in a crazy ending. I was telling you about that before we got on. Going up against Oregon, I was looking at the Big 12 tournament odds for these teams to win it, and I think Oregon was like plus 1,200. Colorado was plus 430. So obviously Arizona and Washington State falling. So you get the 3 and 4 seed in the Pac-12 in the conference title. I'm going to keep riding Colorado here. We've taken them twice in this tournament. I like a minus 2.5 again. Minus 154 on the money line. If you like you know what I mean? If you want to take the juice and not risk 2.5, but I'm taking Colorado minus 2.5 today.
Yeah, I absolutely love this Colorado team. I've loved them all season. They're on an 8-game heater right now. I wanted to take them pre-tournament to win that Pac-12, but they just match up against Arizona terribly. I was like, God forbid they have to play them in the championship, and they don't really stand a chance.
Oregon cakewalked Arizona.
Yeah, but Oregon's they match up well with Arizona. Colorado does not at all. But
I know.
I love Colorado here. I love minus 2.5 points. I think Tristan Da Silva and KJ Simpson have a great game today. They've been absolutely taking over this tournament. I haven't watched a ton of Oregon this year. I don't know a ton about their team, but from what I've seen, they don't really love to run away with games. They like to leave teams in it. And if you let a team like Colorado hang around, they have the players to go on a run, and they're going to take advantage of it. I like Colorado to get the win here. I like them to be dancing in March. Not much else to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so really the only one we were on opposite sides of, other than like true picks, was probably what, Florida and you were on A&M, but I figured you were going to be on A&M.
Right. Yeah, Florida and A&M. Other games I like New Mexico plus 2.5. I think that they probably need another win to get into the tournament. Maybe not, but they're definitely right on the edge. So I think that they need to get the job done. But other than that, not much. Just yeah, a lot of college basketball today. Another great day of college basketball.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. As you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that, but my dog's freaking out in the background. So it's a perfect time to wrap it up. So thanks for listening. We'll see you guys, today's Saturday, tomorrow. So Selection Sunday, doing a stream, going live reaction to the bracket. Going to make some picks early, fill out a bracket. So things like that. So make sure you stay tuned tomorrow night to our Twitter. We'll let you know what time we're going to be going live. I think Selection Sunday show starts, at 6. So we're going to go a little bit after that, maybe 6:37. But we'll get things figured out and we'll get it posted out there. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is online. Should we just hang up, you think?
I have no idea. Is he like, oh, you texted that? At the end, if you don't hear from me, you are going to just leave when you sign off.
All right.
Did you sign off, or are we still